Hello and welcome to Simon Says Artwork. Now, you may be thinking, wait a minute, the thumbnail says he's doing a sci-fi city from imagination, and normally on a Wednesday he does life drawing. Well, for regular viewers, you will be used to me doing an ink drawing on a Monday, life drawing on a Wednesday, and a painting on a Friday. But for the next couple of weeks, I'm going to start piling in more ink drawings, and I think that it has had a better response from the audience, and personally I am hoping to grow the channel. Now, I really am overwhelmed with the amount of support I've had recently, because it was only a month or so ago that I had 30 subscribers, so to see the amount of people who've come through recently has really been nice to have happen, and really exciting to interact with people who are viewing the channel. I love making ink drawings, so I'm going to start uploading those more often, and then once in a while I'll put up some life drawing and some painting. So okay, let's get started. Well, when it comes to making a city, I have to admit my first point of call was to look at things like little plastic clips that I use to help grip paper onto surfaces where there isn't a clipboard clip like there is in this one. And if I'm using things like that, then I'll have a look at my environment around me and try to make the most out of those objects to get a start. So that's what that weird V-shaped top of the building is. It's the hand grip for the actual clips. And then there was a plastic bottle that was really small that I used for the building on the left as well. And then after that, I started thinking, right, I need to now just create these shapes and build upon the 3D perspective as best as I can. Now, with it being ink first, I did take little breaks to look back and think and contemplate what I was going to do next and where I'd want things to sit on the surface. That is worth doing, but I also wanted to get this all done in one sitting and not to take days and days over an image like I usually do. So this was a real push to try to improve upon my idea generation and my ability to just render things as quickly as possible, as clean as I possibly can, and to try to sell the idea of a science fiction landscape. So parts of this was thinking, do I need to fix any problems? Because a lot of the time, if you make mistakes, that always happens, but it's more important to learn how to hide mistakes than to avoid them. It's really good to avoid mistakes, but when they happen, you don't want to have to abandon the whole piece. If you can hide it and continue, then that's much better than having to start all over again. So I do spend a bit of time just making sure that there's nothing much I really need to rectify. And then I think, right, I need to get everything that's in the foreground first and then start to build up the background. So I do a few spaceships in the foreground, and then I start to construct buildings and bits of spaceships in between, just to make sure that I have enough different layers of kind of perspective, I suppose, going on before I commit to any other different aspects of the piece. So the idea is that if the spaceships are flying in between the buildings, then I need the buildings that are in front of the spaceship, and then I need the spaceships and then the buildings behind them. And because I wanted an intersection where the spaceships flying from the right bottom left, the bottom right to the top left, and then I wanted spaceships going from the middle right to the bottom left, so it's kind of a junction. So that's what I started to consider as the different directions that they could be facing to suggest traffic from the future. Now, this I don't know if it's ever going to happen. We had these ideas of spaceships and space kind of travel, or spaceships in the flying through the air that we would travel across the world in, and I'm not convinced that's ever going to be the case, but you never know, and it's still quite a fun idea to try to consider the different design of vehicle that you could purchase and the different architectural designs that could occur, and just to try to render something. A lot of my inspiration will be from Futurama and Rick and Morty and a lot of cartoons that I really like. I mean, it could be from Star Wars and Blade Runner and the films that did this, in the 70s. But a lot of the time I get a lot of inspiration from cartoons because they really simplify the ideas that you see in Alien or Blade Runner, as I said. So yeah, when it came to this point, I thought right now I just need to start adding layers of buildings in the distance. And I could have done a lot more clean rendering on these, but I think it was just trying to make them a bit more faint so that it was suggesting distance. And that was the idea behind making the lines a bit more wispy. All right, so that's the piece done. Now, it was from a few years ago, but I really enjoyed it, and I thought it was quite an interesting challenge to try and put things into perspective and to do a few spaceships. There was a couple of ideas that I pulled from my environment around me, and I thought it'd be interesting to share. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, comment down below, subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell, and I will see you in the next video.